everyone, my name is C Tactics for the Win of the Wise, known as Ben. We are here today to talk about Midori Days. Just like my citrus video, I decided to go ahead and watch Midori Days and make a short impressions video on it, a review as the kids these days would call it. So I'm making this video in celebration of my King of Anime podcast co-host Everything Animated's birthday, so even if it's not his birthday, which is today, Friday, wish him a happy birthday anyways, and go to his channel, give him a subscribe for his birthday, and give this video a like while you're at it as well. So with that being said, if you don't know what Midori Days is about, having your right hand turn into a creature, instead of a creature, it's another human, and it's the person's girlfriend. Well, by the end, they become girlfriends. Or they don't become girlfriends, they become girlfriend and boyfriend, C Tactics. So this video also has spoilers, just saying. So if you haven't already seen Midori Days, then go out and watch it. I do actually recommend, if you like old anime like this, it's not the most perfect anime you'll ever see. If you like, stuff like this, or if you're especially a fan of Parasite, then yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer to go check this one out. So the first thing I want to say that's really good about this show is I think Midori is just, oh god, she's just so cute. She's so adorable. She has the cutest voice. I watched this dub on Tubi. If you don't know what Tubi is, definitely check it out. It's got a bunch of just awesome anime on there. You don't even have to sign up. It's perfectly free and it's legal. You just have to watch a little bit of ads, and if you have ad blocker, you don't have to deal with that. But Midori, oh my god, she is so cute, and she's got that quintessential anime cheese to her as well. And not only that, but this anime's dub is really good. Really, really good. Not only for its era, but even now, it kind of holds up to a lot of other anime. For example, the Fairy Gone dub. I think it's much better than the Fairy Gone dub. It's a really good dub. Like, it's really good. And there's some voice actors you don't see around in anime doing voices anymore because we have professionals now doing dubs. Not to say that these aren't professionals. I think the voices for pretty much every single character in this anime is really quite exceptional. I mean, I'm not even trying to exaggerate here. This dub is really good. Especially for its era. For its era, it's one of probably the best dubs of that year, I would say. And I can't really, what other anime in 2004 came out? Genshiken. And if you've watched Genshiken, this is like right down your alley. But Midori is perfect. Like, her dub voice actress is just so adorable and cute. I can't get over how cute Midori is. She's just adorable. She's precious. Also, the concept of this show is awesome. It's basically it's Parasite, but instead of Miki, it's Midori, and she's an actual girl, and there's like a romance subplot to this, and it's a really funny comedy. It's got the same idea of Parasite, but also don't go in expecting Parasite. This truly feels almost 100% different to what Parasite feels. In tone as well. Like in tone, these have no similarities. Like, besides the right hand being an actual sentient being, there is no comparisons. You just can't. You can't make those comparisons. It's impossible. Even though they're from the same mangaka. Which is awesome. It's a really awesome. It sets itself apart from Parasite. And also, just in general, the characters are really enjoyable. Midori is great. She's cute. She has like a little shirt on that says "I Heart Seiji," which is just, she's so precious. Also, Seiji as well. He's a really nice character. He's kind of an asshole, which we'll talk about later in the bad section. But you can tell that I think Seiji is kind of based off a trope from that era, but as a character, Seiji's pretty solid, honestly. Takako, which is the girl that has a crush on Seiji, in that he sits right next to in class. I like that dynamic between the two. It's a very classic, unrequited love kind of story between those two characters, but it works for this anime because, for one, this anime, it comes from an era where that was kind of like a normal thing to happen, and because it was so normal, it usually was never good. But this here, it feels refreshed a little bit because of Seiji's right hand being Midori, which adds a nice little flavor to it. Also, Midori's family, that whole side character arc where they kind of go through, like, you know, where is Midori at? Like, Midori has... So basically, in the anime, Midori just goes to sleep and she doesn't wake back up. And they try everything to get her to wake back up. They even hire shamans and people from all over the world. They hire an Indian dude. Or I guess Native American. And they try everything to get her to wake back up. And I really like that. It shows, you know, they didn't just forget about the family, right? The family is in here, and it shows that the family is an important aspect in this anime. And they do kind of delve into, like, why does Midori leave that part alone? Like, why does she not want to be a human again to see Seiji? And they don't do it enough in certain cases, but for the most part, they do it really well. And that's one of the most compelling parts of this show, is the fact that Midori and her family are very worried about her. And I like that. It's a nice little touch. Just other things coming off the top of my head. The first episode, there's a fight scene that looks really awesome, especially for 2004. Now on to the more disappointing aspects. They could have worked on the romance a little bit more. I feel like in the middle there, it kind of just the pacing was so dreadful in the middle, and it just dragged along. And I felt like the first 3 episodes were like they were establishing these characters, and then it didn't get going again until episode 10, and they were like, oh yeah, Midori and Seiji, that's a thing that we're trying to do in the plot there. That's the whole point of this show. Let's get back to doing that. Because in the middle there, it was just a bunch of... I don't know, it was just meandering a little bit there in the middle, and it was highly disappointing. And which is the hardest part of this, is the middle section. Also, Seiji is just kind of just a loud asshole. Like, he really is. And I think that's just a trope, something his character, something that you would see a lot in this era of anime, where you would see your main character be like an asshole to the girl, and then you would see like the girl beat up the guy. That's just was a normal thing back then, but it sucks now. It sucks massive. It's not a fun trope. I mean, it really isn't. Also, the sound design in the dub, at least for the dub, I don't know about the sub, is really bad. Like, the sound effects are way too loud, and sometimes it just drowns out the voices of the English voice actors. We already went over pacing in the middle being very slow. What was up with that episode where Midori and Seiji swap places, where Seiji becomes Midori's right hand? That was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. It was not only not needed and added yet another... First of all, this episode is 13 episodes, or this series is 13 episodes long. You didn't need another episode. And this was just plopped right in the middle, where Seiji becomes Midori's right hand, they swap places, and all Midori does is just wail her arm around like a couple times, you know, beats up on Seiji, and we're supposed to laugh at that, and it's supposed to be funny. It's not. It isn't. It's not a good episode. It was the worst episode. And it was so bad that I considered for a moment dropping it. Just for a split second. Then I was like, I'm watching this for everything animated. Which you should go subscribe to right now and tell him happy birthday if you haven't already. Because it's his birthday. Other than that, the show is really good. I quite like the show. As a person who watched a lot of anime from this era a while ago, this fits in with a lot of anime back then, and it's one of the better anime from this era. So if you want to check out Midori Days, I do highly recommend it. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, click on some of these videos if you find them interesting, and make sure to go tell EA a happy birthday and stuff. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.